Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge with your hosts, Liz and KT. And today we're doing a Friday upload. Thank you guys for being understanding. The girls recently were on a trip, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So having a later upload date for this week was very much needed, but nonetheless, this will be a fun episode. And because it is going to be a upload later in the week, we're just going to do our intro, sports corner, and then the topic of the episode this week.
Yes, and we're gonna go ahead and get into a little life update. Life update is just gonna be our favorites of the week. Basically, we went to Chicago this past week. We had a lot of fun. One of our best friends, Jill, is doing her master's. Yeah, her master's up in Chicago. So we got to go visit her for the first time, see her new environment, her apartment, and it worked out perfectly to where me, Kennedy, and Kelsey were all able to go, and we made the most out of it. We were there. We flew in Thursday night, and we stayed there until Monday morning. So we got like a full 3-day weekend, and it was also Halloween weekend. So it all worked out, and we had a whole lot of fun. And can you tell you guys a little bit more?
Yes. We're not gonna go like play by play, but like it was amazing. So I would say I'll focus on Halloween for a moment, but we went out that night and it was the most fun ever. This is my first time ever going out in like a big city like this. I've only ever gone out in Lexington and Cincinnati, but like in a big city like Chicago, I was like, wow, this is the best for Halloween. We were the cheetah girls. It was so fun. I'll put a picture up on the screen so you guys can see what our costume looked like, but it was so fun. We got so many compliments. We went out at Tao. We purchased tickets and that was such a great choice. That night that we went, it was actual Halloween night. So the DJs were Dylan Francis and Austin Mills. Austin Mills was like the basic ticket. That was like $35. So that's who we went to see. But Dylan Francis was on the second floor. And it's like crazy because like I low key forgot that there was like a whole nother DJ. Because it's like, I don't know, there was like a lot of people where we were at. And it was just really good music. And I really like that NDM house vibe because it's like, no matter like what song they're really playing, like everyone can like dance to the beat, you know? And I feel like he played like a good variety of songs, like some popular songs, some basic songs, and then maybe just some other songs you might be like, oh, like I wouldn't think to hear this in the club, but like it's pretty lit. And yeah, I just had a good time. And before that, we actually stopped by at some people Jill knew. We stopped at her cousin's place, which was immaculate. And then we stopped at her friend's place that's like part of her cohort for her grad program, which again was a super nice place. And yeah, we just met some really cool people, and yeah, we just had the best night, and your girls got lit.
Yes, we had a lot of fun, and we definitely chose a good costume because we did cheetah girls in like the sweatsuits. So we were nice and warm because it is Chicago, so it was like cold and kind of like chilly. It wasn't freezing, but the sweatsuit definitely did come in handy. And then kind of just like a little quick recap of the rest of our trip. We just did some like casual exploring around the city. We only went out on Halloween night because I personally, and Kennedy too, we can't be going back to back like that, y'all. Yeah, so we only went out the one night, but the other nights we had a whole lot of fun. We did some cooking together, which is always so much fun. And we went when we weren't cooking together. Rest assured, we were tasting stuff in the city because we are some big backs over here. We just did some our usual stuff like Chinatown exploration. Then we also went to the Navy Pier. We like splurged and did the little like Ferris wheel thing, which was a lot of fun. We had a whole lot of fun that weekend. Honestly, I feel like we had like pretty decent weather because I know that like it is Chicago, so it is colder, but it wasn't like freezing. Like it was still tolerable, like being outside and everything and walking around. And when the sun was out, it was the perfect weather. But it was just a really great weekend to all of us like be back together and be able to see like Jill's new place and everything. And we had our little city girl moment, traveling around on like the bus, the what's it called? The metro, the subway, the
Yeah,
train.
the train. Yeah.
Yeah, the train. That we did like a couple like rooftop moments that were really cute. So it was just all around really fun. Make sure you guys check out our Instagram. We post posted some pictures on there. Oh, and then we also almost forgot. We went to the Jellycat store because we are children at our core. So we made sure we checked out the Jellycat store. And then Kennedy, she like immediately ran, like she saw the one thing that she wanted, she ran to it and she grabbed it as she should.
Exactly. I just have to say, shopping in big cities, I've been shopping in New York and Chicago, like it hits different. Like it's cause like everything that you see online is like at your fingertips. And it's like it's crazy because when you go into these stores, the Jellycat store, we went to Aritzia, Nordstrom, all that stuff, it's like you're like transported into like a different time. Like it doesn't even feel like you're in the city because these stores are like so big and it's like, wait, we're in the middle of a city right now. But yeah, I got the Sun Jellycat. I'll try to move my computer if you're watching and try not to make a lot of noise. But yeah, the Sun Jellycat, super cute. I was like, if I see this Jellycat, I'm getting it. Like that was like my one goal. I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything else. And then I saw it and I ran. And I was super happy about that. And we also got Sunny Angels too, which I was very happy about because I got a animal the animal series version 4 or 2. I don't know, I forgot. But it's the one with the lion. And that was like my goal. I was like, I want that lion. And I got it. I was like, I want the lion, the goat, or something else. I forgot at this moment. And I got the lion. I was super happy about that. But yeah, the shopping is just amazing. We bought a lot of stuff, but it was all stuff that I feel like was practical and like things that I was like, okay, if I see it, I'm gonna buy that. And yeah, like Liz said, like every food we ate, no complaints. So good. We went to Tilly's Bagels. I'm still thinking about that potato bagel. We tried this. We went to Taco Maya, I think. I had a burrito taco. So good. We went to this ramen place. Yeah, we were some grubbing girls, and it was funny. I'm like going all over the place, but on the drinking side of things or going out, it was funny because I remember before the trip, we kind of like dabbled with the idea of like going out 2 nights in a row, but we decided to do a rooftop the second day. I'm like, I'm so glad we decided to do that because I would have not survived. But the rooftops we went to were super nice. We went to London House and Cindy's, very nice vibes. And we actually saw the bean from Cindy's, which was cool. And yeah, and I feel like we definitely had some lucky girl syndrome going around this whole trip.
Yes, we had a really great time. And then I did for my like trinket, it's like toy shopping. I got some Sunny Angels too. The two that I opened, I mean, I'm not like head over heels in love with them. I got the anteater, which Kennedy got that the last time we did an unboxing together. And it was funny because she was like, I don't even know what this is. So it was just funny that I also got the anteater this time around. And then I got one that I think it's called Toy Poodle. I was telling the like Kennedy and everybody, I was like, I feel like it's like ugly cute. It's definitely something. But I'm so happy about this find. I haven't opened it, but one of the like Sunny Angel stores that we went to had the birthday series, but the little bear one where some of them have like a little balloon that you put like in their hand. So I was able to get that, and I'm going to try to open it on my birthday. So I still have like a couple months till then. So I think I have like a solid 3 months. I think I can do it. I think I can wait. And then I also got like a little bag to put on my purse so I can put like my little sunnies in, and it just looks so cute. So we all around had like a really great weekend, just shopping, looking around, really chill vibes, and honestly just like very much needed like girl time, bestie time reunion. So we had the best time. I like when I got back, I started looking at like Google Flights to see when there was another cheap flight to Chicago because we got cheap flights and it worked out that it was Halloween weekend. And I think we really got lucky because I was looking and all the flights are like ridiculously more expensive than what we paid. So it might be a little bit until Chicago sees us, at least going like on a plane. Also, like side note, kind of crazy though, but the airport that we flew into is Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm sure you guys have seen like on the news that there was the like plane crash there with the UPS flight, and that was literally the day after we got there, like not even 24 hours, which is really really crazy to think about. Just like timing and God's timing and all that.
Yeah, that was crazy when I saw that. I was like, I hope it's not a commercial plane because I know my granny, she has really, like, she gets nervous about us flying. And so I was like, yeah, I hope she doesn't see that and get scared because we were just there.
Same, praying for the people that were affected, but luckily we weren't there when it happened.
That part. And one last little update, my hair looks different. You guys can't really tell because I have it up in a bun today because it's just a bun day. But I got a little bit I got some color in my hair for my braids instead. I usually just do like my natural hair color, but I don't know, for this reason or this time around, I was just feeling myself because I knew I was about to go to Chicago. I had family pictures coming up, and it's the fall time, and I'm like, I know a lot of people during the fall time, they change their hair color. Like I've gotten a lot of people, I'm getting like red hair, orangish hair, and I was like, what if I did like a lighter brown color? And I did it, and it looks really good, and I love it. And I decided I didn't want really long braids, and I wanted a wavy ends. So I really like it, and now I'm like, I need to get more color in my hair more often because I really like it.
Yes, when Kennedy showed me, I was like, yes, that was the move. That was the right move. It just like brings like brightness to your face and everything, you know? It's perfect for the season and just not even just like the fall season, I feel like. In general, it looks so good.
I agree. I think in the summertime it will be a really cute color as well.
And now we're gonna go ahead and get into Sports Corner.
Yes, so we're going to be just quickly giving you guys a point update in our drivers for the next race, which is Brazil. Super excited for that, especially because I think it is rumored to be a wet race. But the last race was Mexico, and following that race, my points are 237 and Elizabeth has 176. I think in Mexico we both had a little bit of setbacks, but we still gained some points though, which we're always gonna look at the bright side.
Yes, and then for this upcoming weekend, it is the Brazil GP, and we are so, so excited about that. And our drivers for that race, for Kennedy's drivers, it's going to be Lance Stroll and Oscar Piastri. Oh, and by the way, I completely forgot to mention, we went through all of the drivers already, so now we're going to go ahead and start fresh with our driver picks again, which is crazy to think about because I feel like this is the third time we've gone through all of the drivers.
And then Elizabeth's drivers are Max Verstappen and Pierre Gasly.
Yes, very excited for them. You know, hopefully they get me up there a little bit. I'm shooting for the 200 point mark, maybe.
Maybe she might end up passing me. Who knows? I hope not.
And then in other like F1 sports news, you guys, the news actually, I feel like this is going to be the talk about everything, especially in Brazil. I'm so excited for the photos. Our bestie Alex, you know, because we're basically best friends. She got engaged. Her and Charles are officially engaged, and I mean, we all like saw it coming, but at the same time, I feel like we didn't see it coming. Like, I didn't expect it to like drop in that moment. Like obviously I was like, okay, they have to get engaged, you know? That's the only next step because they're not gonna break up, you know? But I didn't expect it to be like an engagement like now. Like when Kenny opened up Instagram, she was like, oh my gosh, my heart dropped.
No, it was crazy because like we were like out to eat. I forgot where, and we were just sitting there, and I just opened Instagram, and it was the first thing I see. I said, "Oh my gosh, they are engaged!" And her ring, oh sis has a rock. It looks so beautiful. The whole proposal setup looked amazing, and I just love how they included Leo in the picture. And I'm like, I just have been waiting on this engagement ever since I like got to F1 and knew they were dating. Like I'm a big Alex stan, and I'm like, Charles, you better put a ring on that finger. And he sure did. And it looks like they got engaged sometime in October. So it's like they've been, hiding it for a little bit, which I love. They got to like have that, engagement bliss to themselves. But I'm super excited to see if that ring is going to be on display in Brazil. And I'm just like super happy and excited, like just to see any like wedding engagement content that's gonna come, because I know her looks for like everything coming up is going to be immaculate.
No, what Kennedy said. I am so excited to see the ring on display because the way, like in the engagement post, like we didn't get like a full like ring photo, but we saw the ring. We saw that rock. It was like a little side angle of it. Like it wasn't like those engagement photos with like the hands out, showing it. But trust, we were still able to see it. So I'm like so excited to be able to see it even more in daylight, like the little shine to it because I know that man didn't get her like a moissanite, whatever that one's called. I know he went for like the real deal, the real diamond, and I am so excited to see it like bling and sparkle. And I just know like I am very excited for like Thursday when we get like media day and everything because I just know the whole talk when it comes to him is going to be about the engagement. Like, let's be real. Like, yes, he is there to race, but The people want to know about the engagement.
I agree. And now I'm like, ooh, who's going to pop the question next? I know there's a lot of speculation that maybe Alex could be next, him and Lily, which I would love to see that. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm ready for more F1 drivers to get engaged because I just love this content. I feel like in my tennis world, I've been seeing like a lot of engagements and proposals. I'm like, now I need more of that in the F1 world.
No, because trust, Brazil is going to be a weekend for the girlies.
That part. And now we're going to get into the topic of the episode. It's very chill. We're just going to be talking about television shows that were canceled and shouldn't have been canceled, and we're going to be ranting about it because we're still disappointed about these cancellations to this day.
No, because apologies, like truly for the person that will come out of us. Because this is like basically like fangirl, but like this hurts on another level, you guys. Like I just reading through the list that we have, like we haven't even really talked about them. It was already bringing up so many emotions within me. So I do apologize for any emotions that come out because we feel very passionate about this. And if any of like the streaming platforms, you know, Netflix, Prime, probably Netflix most likely because they're the ones that love to do all the canceling. But like if any of them are listening, we want to talk.
Just know if you have zero haters, it's because me and Liz are dead. Like Netflix, you are my biggest op, and why you're my biggest op is because you canceled the society. It is years later. Like it got canceled over like the pandemic, and you guys, I 5 years later, and I'm still thinking about what could have been. Like that show was that girl. Like I remember too, like they I forgot kind of like the timing of it, but I think we were like expecting like, oh, like we were I think they like got renewed for a season 2. I'm pretty sure, and they were about to start filming, and then all of a sudden it's like, psych, we're actually being canceled. You guys, I was sick, and I remember I recently rewatched the show before that, and it was just so good. Like I genuinely cannot believe they canceled it. And I think it says something that till this day, there's still TikToks that get hundreds of thousands of likes about I can't believe this show got canceled.
No, because it's not even the fact that it got renewed and then canceled. It's the fact that they dropped like a cast like announcement of the upcoming season. Like I'm pretty if you look it up, like season 2 announcement, the society, it's out there. Like it exists. It is on Netflix's YouTube, unless they took it down, but it is out there, you guys. Where like the cast is like, we got renewed, like new season. So like that, and then the fact that literally before it got canceled, the cast was supposed to like that week, I'm pretty sure, like the following week, they were supposed to like finally like start filming. Like it was going to happen. The filming, it was all like in the works. And then out of nowhere, they want to cancel it. Like, what do you mean? Because you know what that means is that somewhere out there in this world, the script for season 2 is out there. Somewhere in this world are the answers that I have been waiting for literally since I watched this show like 5 years ago. I don't even know. Like the answers are out there and we're just never gonna know. What I would do, you guys, not even like obviously to see season 2 in actuality, but what I would do even to just read like the script and find out all the answers I have been like waiting for. Oh my gosh, that is what is so sick about this one. That's like a different level of sick compared to other shows that are canceled.
And the fact of this show, it ended on the biggest cliffhanger. The two most prominent ones that I can remember is like what freaking happened to them, because we see the dog that was like there when they like came back to their town and no one's there. He like goes back into like the real world, like the other like alternate timeline, I guess. See, we don't even know what it is because we have no answers. And we see that there's like a memorial for all these kids. So in their world, they're dead, but in whatever version world they are, like they're still alive. So it's just like, what happened? Because there's like a mysterious smell. They went out. They're supposed to be going on this trip, and all of a sudden, the trip is like, oh, we can't go anymore. We get turned around, but literally no one's there. The kids are the only one, and it's just like, what? And then the other thing about, there's a pregnant character, can't think of her name right now, about who her baby daddy is. I know there's like a lot of conspiracies that it's like, oh, it was actually like it's the mean guy's baby, but it was like his stepbrother or something that was like, it's kind of like the cover baby daddy. So yeah, that's a really good theory as well. And I'm just like, If only we could have those confirmed. I'm like, I need the creator, writer, director of the show to just drop the script, let us read through it, and let us have some peace.
And then even more importantly, for the romance girlies out there, Allie, I think was her name, and the main guy, the way so like they were literally like enemies to lovers. They were finally getting their moments. They didn't even have like an actual moment, you guys, but like the amount of edits I have saved watching like just what could have been, what could have happened, like oh, you guys, The Society, it will forever be that show that I just like I will never get over it. And I will recommend it to people so that they can just experience the the withdrawal of like not having the answers to all these questions. I will still recommend that show to anybody so that they can experience the pain that I continue to experience to this day.
Exactly. And another show that caused us pain with the cancellation, Joy and the Phantoms. You guys, Netflix, or yeah, it was Netflix. Yeah, you're sick for that as well. Like I remember, especially like our friend Kelsey, she was obsessed with that show. I think she legit watched it, rewatched it like multiple times, listened to the soundtrack multiple times, and I know she was devastated when it was canceled. I mean, I was devastated, and I wasn't like that attached to the show. Like I loved it, of course, but I was like, bruh. And like I don't know, just the whole premise of the show. Unsaid Emily, do I need to say more?
Exactly what I was going to say was just unsaid Emily. That's all I have to say. Because that song, that scene, it still pulls at my heart every single time I like hear it. Just seeing when I saw the little police lights flashing, immediate tears, immediate just passed away in that moment. Yeah, Unsaid Emily is she is that song. Honestly, the whole soundtrack was so good. The story was also like so different from like other like stories and like shows, and like yes, it is a kid show, I feel, but it is still so good, like just like the drama and everything. And I've never seen like a show that has that storyline, and then the cliffhanger where we see like the evil man enter the like one of the guys who's interested in the main girl. Yeah, like you guys, like there could have been the potential that that show had. It was so good. It was so good. I truly don't understand why it got canceled though, because that's one of those shows where it was like okay, The Society. I still don't understand, but I guess they can blame it on COVID. But Julie and the Phantoms, we were past COVID. Like, I don't understand why it got canceled, especially when it was like trending for weeks. And the way that like fans will like come together and like, let's make it go trending again. Let's like put it in their faces, like rub it in their faces. And it goes trending like years later. So I truly don't understand who made that decision. I want to talk to who is in charge of these decisions at Netflix because they need to go.
That part, and also on the fact that it was trending, and also won like a lot of awards, like literal Emmys. Like that is like the pinnacle of awards for TV shows, and it won an Emmy, but that still wasn't enough in Netflix eyes. Like I truly don't understand. Like it was a show that was trending, very popular. I truly don't understand, and that was a mistake. Yeah, I'm just like, and I feel like Netflix, what they do is like they cancel stuff and then they try to like low key recreate it, and other stuff is like, we don't want that. We want the original.
And I don't understand why they do that too, because I feel like that's a whole risk thing. Like, who's to say that that new show is gonna blow up when it doesn't blow up? You know, when they could have just like already continued with what they knew was trending, what the people wanted, and done it. I know there's like I feel like a lot of these things that we're like these shows that we're talking about. There's like talks of it like coming back and stuff, but I'm like, these talks have been happening. Where's the results?
That part, and I feel like it's at a certain point where it's like it almost becomes too long to renew it, because it's like the actors themselves have like just changed so much, and it's like it would be hard to just like jump right back in that story. But it's crazy how like Netflix canceled all this, but then I think it was ABC or something, they canceled the show Manifest, but then Netflix renewed it and was like, okay, then we'll bring it on our platforms. So y'all can do that, but y'all can't. But y'all cancel the Society, Julie and the Phantoms, all these other shows. Make it make sense.
And the way I feel like production wise, Julian the Phantoms is way cheaper than them trying to do this plain stuff and I don't know all the other crazy stuff going on in Manifest. When Julian the Phantoms was literally a school and a house, I feel like that's the two sets that we got the most.
That part, and then next, Annie with the E. I say Annie. I know it's controversial. People say Anne, and they, but to me, Annie makes sense. So Annie with the E. And that show, that was like a show that like I watched over like COVID, like randomly, and like before I even watched it, like it been done being canceled, and I still watched it anyway. And that show was immaculate. I don't know why they didn't just do one last season. I feel like one last season would have sufficed. I can't remember the ending, but I'm pretty sure like Amy and Gilbert, they finally got together, and her and her friends, they were like off to like a certain like school that was like really bougie or whatever, and I was like, I would have loved to see more of that, but no. But at least we kind of got a happy ending, and you can kind of like make your own ending, and like it is like a book, it's based off a book, so you could read it, but like still I was invested. At least give us one more season.
That was one show that I personally didn't finish, but just because I heard about the ending, so I was like, it just felt so rushed and everything. And then finding out that it got canceled, I was like, I don't want to put myself through that, because one thing about me is if I found out a show isn't going to end the way I want it to, specifically regarding like a ship or something, or it's like too rushed, I just won't put myself through that. I will live in bliss and continue to go about like with what the knowledge that I know and the knowledge that I've seen. So that was one show. Like, yes, they and because I disagree with Kennedy. I feel it is and with an E, but it is one of those like where yes, they did get like their happy ever after, but it was so rushed because I'm pretty sure from what I know, it's like him like running after her in the train, but it wasn't like they had like actual like moments. Like that was like the moment, like they like got it together. But I'm like, it's just so rushed, especially when that show had like a couple seasons and then for it to just end that way. So you like it's also like rushed endings. You might as well not even have the rushed endings, is my personal opinion.
And then next is the Winx Club series. Liz will probably have more to say about this because I didn't finish the most recent season, but I absolutely loved the first one. I thought the casting was on point, and yeah, and I feel like they kind of dragged out saying like if it was gonna be renewed or not. And I feel like that's like always the tall tale sign. This was another surprise. I feel like again this was a show that did very well. It was always trending. It was on the top 10, and they decided to cancel it. And I thought the show was really good, and I don't know why. Netflix. Do we see the common denominator so far? Netflix. Netflix is the enemy.
That part. So the like actual like official name is The Fate of the Winx Saga, which is like the Winx Club but with like the real people and everything. And I like Kennedy, I had only watched season one and I love season one. But then I don't know why it like took me a while to watch season two. So like I rewatched season one and rewatched and then like watched season two and everything. And then I found out it got canceled. But like the from what I don't even remember like exactly how it ended. I think like it was finally like the peak of like us finding out like why things are happening, and then like stuff happens and then that's how like the show ended. But my biggest pet peeve with this show is the ships, you guys, the potential in the ships, because obviously we have like the main like couple like interest, which that's another thing, the couples that like date in real life and I'm like yes, but then they break up. Mm, that's another conversation, you guys. But like I love them, like the redhead and because I don't know their actual names or their character names, but the blonde guy, loved their ship. But then there was another ship. I think her name was like Musa. Um, she was like one of those like the girl that kind of like purple to her, and then the guy that was like I don't know, he was like a fighter or something. I don't really remember exactly. But they had so much potential, you guys, because like she was like actually dating this other person, but like the chemistry was there. And you guys, I watched so many edits of them because the potential was there. And I feel like it would have happened if we got a season three, but it got canceled. I really don't know why it got canceled, like Kennedy said, because it was trending and like the cast, like I feel like the interviews I've seen, they were like all like they wanted like another season two, so that's one of those shows where it's more so for me, it's like the pain of the couple of what could have been, because the potential was there. It was there, obviously it's the plot too, but the ship was there.
Yeah, and I know there's like rumors on TikTok that maybe Prime might pick it up, but I'm just like at a certain point, it's like how long is too long to like pick it back up again, but we'll see. And I also feel like Netflix recently released another Winx Club show, but like not like real person. It's like a cartoon version. I remember seeing something about that, so it's like crazy how y'all can cancel that, but then make an animated one. Like this is the stuff I'd be talking about. Like, why would you cancel something but then try to bring it back? Like, what makes you think we're gonna watch that?
Exactly, like, just bring back stick to the original. It's just whoever they have making decisions, they gotta go. They gotta go. They need to rebrand in their team. But our next show is House of Anubis. This was a Nickelodeon show. If you know, you know. Like, if you grew up watching this, then you know. This was that girl. It was like one of those like late at night shows that was like screepy. That was like the spooky vibes. Like low key, I would get scared watching it at night. Like there was sometimes there was like, okay, it got too dark. I wouldn't keep on watching. Like I would have to watch it the next day when there was like light out. This show was like, I don't like obviously like looking back on it and like when I rewatch some stuff, like it is a bit cringy. Don't get me wrong, but like it was that girl, and I feel like it still could be because it had like such potential with like the plot where it's like they're in a boarding school and it's like there's like all this creepy stuff going on, like this not even magic, but I don't even remember exactly what it was. It was just like spooky, like mystery vibes, and I don't know why it got canceled because it had like a couple seasons. Like this was like a thing. But yeah, Nickelodeon, I don't know what they were on.
Yeah, House of Anubis, that was my freaking show. I would say every night, and like Liz said, it's funny because like when you're younger, you're like so scared. Like I remember being deathly scared, like covering my face, like my eyes with a blanket sometimes. But then within the past couple years, I like started watching a couple episodes again, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I was scared of this when I was younger. I can't remember the ending, but I do remember it ended on a cliffhanger. Honestly, it probably started to go downhill because I know in the last season Nina wasn't in it, and like Sis was like the whole show, and I was really mad about that because I loved her and Fabian together. Like that was my ship. But yeah, that show was just so good. Like just like the relationships, the drama. It definitely was like complex. Like I know like Victor, like the head guy of like the house, he was like taking some stuff and I think it made him like not age or something. And the teachers were all part of like this underground Egyptian thing. I don't know, but I remember it being honestly that's like a pretty complex, interesting plot for a kids show. And I remember we would like play House of Anubis like during recess. So definitely a show for the culture. Very sad that we didn't get like a proper ending for it, whatever that would have been. But such a good show.
Yeah, this one was kind of like one of those like rush ending plot hanger plot cliffhanger. Oh my gosh. One of those like cliffhanger type of endings I felt. And it was definitely one of those like when it's dragged on a little bit too much maybe or like the cast kind of like gets over it. So I don't know if I can like fully blame Nickelodeon, but you know, just for the sake of it, they're to blame in this situation.
Yes. And then another kids show is My Babysitter's a Vampire. I remember again within the past couple of years, I like rewatched like the first like full like two seasons when I was younger. I like loved the show and the movie. And I remember the literally the last episode is really like Vanessa, that's her real name. Can't think of her name in the show, but Vanessa and then Ethan, like they finally go on a date, and then this black smoke comes, and that's literally like the end of the episode, and then it just gets canceled. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like I remember finding out it was canceled like when I was younger, and then I was distraught. Like I was not okay. Like what do you mean we're just ending off that way and there's no ending? And it is like a Canadian show, so I'm like feel like there was maybe like some type of like network like Disney and like Canadian thing that was probably happening, but I'm like the potential the third season of that show could have been. And like that show honestly was so good. Like and honestly some of the episodes creeped me out when I was younger. Like I feel like the doll one creeped me out. And there's another one too, I just can't like I can like see it in my mind, but I can't like voice it. But yeah, can't believe like that one was truly a cliffhanger. Because what do you mean we finally got the date and this black smoke comes in and literally the episode ends?
I feel like that was like one of my first experiences with like a show getting canceled, you know, like what does that mean it's got canceled, you know? Little did I know what I was in for in this ride of canceled shows. But yes, that was such a good show. I feel like it was always like the show, you know, like those like kid shows that you watch, the Disney shows, and that one was always there. I feel like that one, like rewatching it, is one of those like I don't really find like cringy, honestly. I feel like I still like laugh at it. I'm still like completely completely like in it and everything. So just again, I feel like with these shows, when they put a ship there and then they fall through, that is what like just like breaks my heart just every single time.
Yeah, I don't even have anything to say. It's just like heartbreak. That's what we got it. We got it early. They were conditioning us, but then it just got worse as we got older. And then next, Grand Army. This one had a very strong first season. I remember everyone was hooked on it. I think it came out when I'm pretty sure like our senior year of high school. And you guys, that show was amazing. I felt like obviously we didn't grow up in New York City, but I felt like it was a very like realistic show of what it's probably like to grow up in New York City and just like teenagers in general. Like I felt like it was very accurate and it was a very diverse show and I felt like they portrayed all of the different cultures and stuff realistically and even like not even not even just racially, but also kind of like in terms of like gender, I don't know what you would call that, but just like how like the one character got sexually assaulted by like her best friends, like that kind of stuff. Like I don't know, I feel like it's all very realistic, a very important show, but also like gave the drama. And I remember again it ended on a big cliffhanger where like the least expected girl ended up being like behind like the most like a bomb threat or something and again what it could have been and I felt like again this was a show that was very highly like popular. It was trending for a bit. So again, don't know why they decided to cancel like one of the best shows ever. And I felt like low-key it like helped some of us with like this with the society void. And then they just ripped that out of our fingertips.
I feel like during this time, Netflix went through like a period of like coming out with like pretty good shows and then canceling. It was just like back to back to back. But like with this one specifically, I think that it touched on a lot of like very like real issues, kind of like I don't know, like I don't want to say 13 Reasons Why esque, but like very like real issues. And it could have gone so many different ways with like I feel like all the stories, it was like one of those shows where it was like separate storylines, but then they kind of like were intertwined and everything. And honestly, like it also introduced us, I feel like, to new characters and like cast and everything, because it was a lot of people like I hadn't seen too much of. So it was like also like good for like I feel like the cast to, like build their platform, their name and everything, and then it got canceled. I definitely like I think the storyline within that show that I was like the most like obsessed with was the girl that got like sexually harassed or assaulted by her friends and everything. That storyline was the one that I was like it just like I was in that storyline specifically like watching it and everything. So I really did like that show. I love the cast, specifically the guy that's like not a good person in the show. Yeah, if you know, you know he's not a good person in the show. I don't say with his character, but in other stuff, I do obsess with over him.
Yes, like that show definitely introduced me to a bunch of new actors. And the guy, his real name is Brian, I believe. And so when I see him in other projects, I'm like, oh, like I'm excited to watch this. He was also in the Pretty Little Liars, like kind of reboot that like I loved. And that also got canceled. But I like was excited to watch that because like he was in that. And he's also in Brilliant Minds right now. And I feel like there's been some like other stuff that like he's been in. It's just like really good to just like find those new actors. I was also invested in the Indian guy storyline, I believe. I can't remember the exact like premise, but I remember being like invested in it. And then also like the Asian girl because she ended up being like cray cray and that really piqued my interest and yeah it was just such a good show. Can't believe they canceled it.
Another like honorable mention that I feel like with all this of the Netflix period of coming out with like potential good shows, and it was like shows that the plot was different. Like it was different shows from because I feel like after a while, shows kind of get like repetitive, kind of like right now, like the trope of like the two brothers and like the girl. Like I feel like we're in that trope right now, and like kind of like shows are like putting that out more. But I feel like during this era of Netflix, like they were putting out like very like different shows. So another like honorable mention is oh my gosh, what was it called? It was everything. The one with the head blow up.
It was at the same time as the Society. They got canceled on the same day. It was with the guy from or two characters from it, I believe. Oh my god, I can't think of the show, but I do know what you're talking about.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick. It was like something with like world.
Like I'm pretty sure the word everything was in the title. Oh, I found it. It's called I Am Not Okay with This.
Me and Kennedy. Anyways, so I'm not okay with this. So it doesn't have the word everything in it. But this show, all I know, you guys, is that the end a head got blown up. And I was and then head gets blown up, credit scene. And then we never get to like figure out like more about it. So I just know like in the moment, I remember like when I was like texting like my friends, I was like, you guys have to like finish this, you have to finish this. I literally sent like an emoji. I was like, this is all I have to say. And it was like the head like blown up emoji. And like they didn't understand like what that meant until they like watched it all the way through. I don't remember anything about it, just the head gets blown up and then we never find out more. So that was another one of those like Netflix's just cancellation peak, I guess.
That part. And I also remember like the main girl, like there was like this shadow man or like this man all dressed in black or something that was like always around. And I think like at the end, like they kind of like were gonna have like a conversation or something, or like she like approached him, was gonna confront him, and then it just like it ended. And I'm like, who is that man? What's going on?
Just a little honorable mention because you know Netflix loves to cancel everything. And then our next like one that we were gonna discuss was Spinning Out. This is like almost like the society for me. This is like my number two of all like the Netflix shows because again, common denominator here, Netflix. This show was so good. I have rewatched this show and I am proud, you know. I have rewatched it. It was so good. It was like one of those ice skating shows where honestly I have tried to like find another like ice skating show and nothing hits like this because like all the other ones they're like cringy or they're like little kid kind of. This one was basically this girl. She's normally a single skater and she goes through this traumatic experience where like her head gets injured and she like basically like stops like competing competitively and everything because she kind of has like PTSD with like her fall and everything. And then there's this guy and he's like a double skater and he needs a partner, and so somehow like they get paired up and they hate each other because he's like the kind of like guy who like he's known for like sleeping around, he's like the rich guy and everything, and she's not. Like she has like all this like the home issues, like her mom like is schizophrenic, she Loki like also has that. And then they get paired up and they're skating and basically like they like kind of like fall in love, they kind of have like a little thing going on, and then like her like mental health gets in the way and everything. That show was so good, you guys. I loved it so much. I still love it. It was also, I feel like it did a really good job of like portraying like mental health also. Like yes, it was like ice skating, but like also like the mental health behind it played like a really big impact like on the plot line, on the storyline, on the characters. So for them to go and cancel it, I feel like people, from what I've seen on like talk of this show getting canceled, people who like have like these like schizophrenia or like these like mental like issues and everything that go on, like disorders and everything, they like even they approve, I guess, of like the way it was like portrayed. So I feel like for them to cancel it, and it didn't like necessarily like end like on a like dramatic cliffhanger. It was kind of like their fun like the big competition and then like their dance like not their dance their like skate thing like starts and then it just like end credits. So it wasn't like necessarily like a big cliffhanger, but it was still a cliffhanger because like the potential, and there was, now that I'm thinking about it, there was some like plot lines with like the sister and like a coach and like things like that that we didn't get answered. So yeah, I'm very salty about this one personally.
Yeah, I personally didn't watch this show, but I do remember at the time Elizabeth being obsessed with this show. And I also remember the controversy online about the cancellation because then Netflix tried to release another skating show, and people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I think I like try to watch the other skating show, you know, to fill the void, but it was not at all what I need. It was I don't it was a bootleg version. I don't know what they were doing. Yeah. Honestly, you guys should totally watch it because it's definitely like Christmas kind of vibes because they have like a cabin and stuff. So you should watch it for the Christmas vibes and then just forewarning it, you don't get the happy ending that you wanted.
And then our last show is My Lady Jane. I personally never finished this show, but I remember I was like watching it. I think I got sidetracked, but then before I could even finish it, I found out it was canceled. So I was like, why would I finish the show? But I remember the first couple episodes, I really liked it. Like I really liked the humor aspect of the show. And from what I remember, it had great potential. So really upset with that, Amazon Prime. I feel like recently we've kind of noticed that Amazon Prime might be a little more similar to Netflix. We might have to do a part two with all Amazon Prime shows that got canceled that we're upset about. But yeah, that was a show that I was shocked because I feel like that was again a very popular show. A lot of people were talking about it. I feel like it had like a lot of press, a lot of good reviews, and yeah, very surprised they canceled it.
Yeah, this was one where like they canceled it very quickly. I feel like the turnaround, they didn't even give it a chance. But it was one of those like I don't want to say historical dramas because it wasn't like it was the like the timeline of it like a historical piece, you know, like the dresses and like all that kind of stuff. But like the comedic and like almost like fantasy aspect to it, it kind of low key was giving me like Shrek vibes, like Fiona, you know how she like would turn into like an ogre and all that kind of stuff, but like not. I don't know. I'm rambling now, but it was like it was really funny too. So I feel like that was like different from like other like historical shows, and it was like a quick watch. I remember I was watching it and like Kenny, I finished it though, and then I immediately I'm like looking through the edits and everything, and then I see it got canceled, and I was like, "What do you mean it got canceled?" I feel like I just excuse me, hold on. I feel like I just finished this show, you know. So that was really surprising, the quick turnaround of it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't really remember like exactly the cliffhanger, but I do know that there was a cliffhanger. Like the way it ended, there should have been a season 2. It wasn't one of those like rushed endings or anything, but yeah, very quick turnaround. They didn't even give it a chance.
No, that part I couldn't even finish the show before they canceled it. I was like, oh, perfect, and it just like makes you think like a little side tangent. Like I feel like these streaming platforms want shows that just like take off right away, but at the same time, you guys cancel stuff so much that's like I know for me, sometimes I personally refrain from starting a show right away because I'm like, why waste my time if it's gonna get canceled within a couple months of its release? You know what I mean? So I just truly, if anyone happens to like understand the insights of this all, please comment down below because I would just love to know because I'm like all these good shows and now we're getting like crap shows in place of it, and it's like, wow, perfect.
No, that part, like as the person, as the viewer who doesn't know the behind the scenes, I really don't understand like what goes into them determining if a show gets canceled or not. And I feel like honestly, like it takes a little bit for a show to blow up. Like it doesn't blow up overnight. Like you gotta wait for like people to like the way I am introduced to shows a lot of times is like edits and stuff. So you have to wait for those to come out. Like you have to do like, you know, like all that kind of behind the scenes type of stuff. So then for them just like cancel stuff like out of nowhere, or then just like as Kitty has like mentioned like throughout this episode of just like coming out with like the I don't know the knockoff version of it, like kind of like similar plot lines and everything. I just don't understand like why they do what they do. So basically, you guys, the streaming services, specifically Netflix, because I feel like majority of these shows were Netflix shows. They need to hire me and Kennedy because what are y'all doing out there? What are you doing?
We know what the people want. We know what the girlies are going to watch. And I feel like you can tell by like all these like book adaptations that are being like made now and like they're just doing amazing and keep getting renewed before like a new season's even out. Like we know. We know.
And without further ado, that is the end of our episode. Make sure you guys comment down below. Have you watched these shows? What are your thoughts? Are you also like us and you just can't stop thinking about these shows, specifically the society? Because if anybody knows how to get a hold of the script, please let us know. We will aid. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, watching, whatever you guys are doing with this episode. Make sure you guys are following us on all of our socials, specifically our Instagram. Little shout out. Go check out if you guys want to see some like behind the scenes Chicago pictures that we posted on there. But yeah, make sure you guys are following us on all of our socials, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.